Hi, I'm singer-songwriter and actor Robert Avallanet, and you're tuning into Deeper Than Music.
Deeper Than Music Radio. Behind every great song is a greater story.
Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music.
One. Deeper Than Music Radio, behind every great song is an even greater story. I like to say what's up to everybody listening to us on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spreaker, and also check us out now on the newly launched Nious Roku channel. That's Nious Roku channel. Today we have a very special guest. Not only is she an actress, she's also a comedian. She has a reoccurring role, Lieutenant Salazar, on TruTv's comedy Tacoma F.D., and she was also a lead actress in the Latina Christmas Special. Her credits include Why Women Kill, Teen Wolf, Southland, Criminal Minds, Major Crimes, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Ladies and gentlemen, we have guest Mariarussell here on Deeper Than Music Radio. Maria, how you doing?
Hi, good. Thank you, Marquivas. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. You know, it's always it's not always sunny in Texas, but you know, it's a nice it's a nice sunny day today. And I like the term you coined because you're Mexican and Lithuanian. So I don't want to pronounce this wrong. Mesuanian?
That's it. I'm a Mexuanian. That's right. Mexican and Lithuanian.
I actually have a friend that's Lithuanian, and I want to say at one point Lithuania used to be part of Russia, right?
Exactly. Yep, up until 1991. Then it got back its independence and claimed its independence. Oh, that's so awesome! You have a Lithuanian friend.
Yeah, because I just remember in middle school, he's like, "Yeah, I'm Lithuanian." I'm like, "Lithuanian? Where is that?" But then, once we do all the history and the story, like Estonia used to be part of Russia, and then Lithuania. So
yeah.
So one of the first questions I had. Because you have so many vast roles and so much personality. I imagine you being the person in school, like, you know how like the most likely to the most energetic or most likely to be a star. Were you like I don't want to say class clown, or were you like the lively person in your school, like just full of energy and made people laugh? Or
yes, well, it's so funny that you asked this question. Because I don't know if you've been seeing on social media, people have been posting like their senior portraits. So, you know, as an ode to the high school seniors that aren't going to be able to actually graduate on stage right now. So I actually put my senior portrait up there, and I was saying who I was. So in grade school, I was voted class clown. And then in high school, I was voted class clown. I was the prom queen, and I was the captain of the cheerleading team.
Wow.
But I was the silly one.
So that led my next question. What came first, the comedian or the actress?
Oh, for sure the comedian. I think I've always been a silly little girl since I've been a silly little girl. So I've always like talking to everybody. My mom would tell me stories like, oh, Bob, because, you know, I'm from Los Angeles. So, you know, we would see, you know, like Bob Hope. And my mom was like, Bob Hope gave you $5 once because he said that you made his day and you were just so cute and so bubbly and talkative. So I think I've always been very silly and coming up with my own character since I was a little girl. Because also I'm an only child. So I had to be creative to come up with like my friends. You know, my imaginary ones.
I was imagining as I was, I was imagining, and it's funny you mentioned that. I was imagining you like, you remember the movie Eddie Murphy Raw, and in the beginning, they're like, yeah, you know, he did the show for his parents as a kid. He was telling jokes. I was imagining you being like that, being young, throwing, you know, shows for your friends and family. So
that was me. That was me. And I love Eddie Murphy. And I haven't seen Raw in such a long time that you just reminded me to go back and see it. Because I haven't seen it in probably more than 10 years. So I have to go in and revisit that. He's genius. He's genius.
There he is. And did you know at a young age, and I'm pretty sure the answer is yes, that you knew you were going to be an entertainer?
I did.
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I did. I told my mom that I want to be like her, and her was my bully, and I won't say her name, but she was like a child actress / model / a-hole.
All in that order, right?
All in that order. So I wanted to be like her. So but I waited till actually I was in high school and I started taking classes. But my mom, did all this work with me to get an agent. Fast forward, I started really delving into it when I was in college. So I was in college, I was in school, and then also on the side I was auditioning, going to, acting classes and doing all that, preparing myself. So, and I'm glad I did it that way, actually. I'm very glad that I waited and got to really enjoy high school, because I loved high school. And I got to experience all that, and I didn't grow up too fast, in that world,
Yeah, you hear about child stars, like, I go to school, then from school I go to acting, and then...
Yes.
Yeah.
I went to school with a lot of those, and it's sad because there's really no, you can't, I just remember, I won't tell you who, but the mega people that you would know, but remember that they weren't allowed to go to certain things because they had to work the next day, and they were like 10, which was very sad. Yeah. So kind of sucks the, the youth out of you and the innocence, I think, sometimes,
I think a good point, because you hear about these child stars that later, once they're no longer child stars, it's like it's devastating, right?
Because they don't know what to do, right? It's like, what do I do with myself? They only know themselves as working. Oh my gosh, that little, So it's and especially when they go through different phases of their lives, like the physicality too. If they're, especially if like we know them to be, little and like, oh, they were little and cute, like little child actors, and they grow up and they're not so little and cute. It's like, where do they put them, right?
Yeah,
it's hard.
A classic case of that would be, rest in peace, Michael Jackson. Like,
yes,
all of that. He was a genius, but all that was part of also the genius and the madness.
Yes.
I also know that you took dance as well, correct?
Yeah. Since I've been dancing out of the womb. Yeah, I've been dancing since I was 2. So I'm classically trained in ballet, but I did jazz, hip hop, and Latin dancing. So, and I even taught Latin dancing with salsa and bachata. So dance has always been a part of my life since I could remember. So it's, that's what I miss most, actually, during all this coronavirus crap, my dancing. So it's a bummer. And acting, of course, but the dancing, because I need a partner.
So you decide later on that you wanted to pursue acting. What was the genesis? Was it theater, or how did you first delve into pursuing an acting career?
Yeah, so when I got my agent initially, I had an agent for commercials, and then I had an agent for TV and film. It's kind of like a crapshoot. You get sent on auditions, and you don't get to really choose your job when you first start out. It's like, oh my God, if I just get one line on a show, I've made it. So it's a huge deal, right? So when I first started doing it, I would book a lot of commercials, a lot of music videos, and I was a music video girl, yeah. So if you wanted, I was Tracy Chapman's videos, P. Diddy, like a bunch of music videos. Yeah, and I was like, a Brandy video. I played the bride, like the young bride, and I was like, oh my God, this is my dream. And then I'm like, okay, no, I don't like doing this anymore. I need more. So it started from commercials, and then, you know, to really get your foot into TV, it's a serious job. So I started taking acting classes and really starting to understand what's entailed in booking a job. You know, you just see the end result when you're watching TV, but all the steps leading to that, my gosh, it's a process, let me tell you. So it's something. So when I booked my first job, it was on The Riches, which was on FX. Do you remember that show? Yeah. So I was on the first season, and then I was supposed to come back second season, and I loved my character. I loved her. Oh my God, she was so fabulous. And I was supposed to come back the next season, but they canceled the series. And it was such a good show. I was so mad.
It was a real good series. Yeah, I liked it. Can you tell us about your experience with the Latina Christmas Special?
Yes. And actually, we might be in Texas this year, so you better come see us. Oh,
I will definitely come out there.
Yes.
In my hometown in San Antonio or even Dallas, I'm definitely coming.
Yes. So yeah, the Latina Christmas Special, it's a 3-mini 1-woman show, and it's autobiographical. So I co-wrote it, my piece, and it's about my life, and there's 2 other comedians in it, and it's about our life and growing up, and it's a hit show. We got to go off-Broadway in December to New York. So that was an absolute dream come true. It was really a dream come true. And to sold out audiences. So we sold out almost every single show. And we've been LA Times Critics' Choice for the past 5 years with sold out audiences. And it's really, you know, such a beautiful thing. We have fans from all over the world that come to see us, and we're going to be, and this is like such good news, you know, around this time, but we're officially coming back. Official, when I say official, we've already signed everything, to Pasadena, at a Noise Within Theater in Pasadena, the first week of January 2021. So that's very exciting news for us. And it's just this, you know, this show that started out as a little show in Hollywood and kind of just grew and grew and grew and grew. And we've had thousands of people come see us. And it's become a tradition. You know, people look forward to it every year, and you have a lot of the same people come, but then you have like hordes of new people that come see it too. So, yeah.
One of the top critic choices of 2019, and they say it's Charles Dickens with a twist. So it's with your twist. And then also, I know another. You're the queen of hidden camera shows.
Oh my gosh, Ricky, I have done so many hidden camera shows. I started on Spy TV, Hater. I think I've done over 10 shows. Scare Tactics. I was on it for like so many years. Yes. So I did so many, and I'm such a prankster. So it was like that's like the perfect outlet for me. I love doing those kinds of shows. But yeah, I did so many of them. They're so much fun. And you know, it's a different kind of improv doing that, because it's improvised, but it's a different kind of improvisation, because, you know, it has to come from a real place. You know, it's not like, you know, it has to be like we're conversing with real people, not with actors, you know, so it has to be something where they know that you're not full of crap, that you're serious doing these ridiculous things. So it's so much fun. I miss doing it in camera shows.
Scare Tactics is like, you see people literally scared with their feet. Like, you see a macho guy and start screaming high pitched.
I know. And I see reruns now, and I'm like, oh no, hell no. I would be like, I'm suing you guys. Give me $10,000 right now. Because some of them are horrible. I was like, I didn't even realize how horrible they were. Like, you know, people like dying, or like from a zombie attack. And like people, because you're in that position, why would you think that it's a joke, because everything's real wherever in the setting that you're at, right? So why would you doubt anything? And then after, oh my God, it's crazy, but so much fun.
I would imagine to be versatile like that, right? To go from theater to doing hidden camera shows. You're very quick on your feet. So is that where the comedic skills and being able to be quick on your feet, is that where that comes from? Or?
For sure. And you kind of have to, because it's so fast, and you have to be quick so it has to be something that's internal, I guess, because I've always been like this. I've always been like very, so yeah, it is. And it is a different kind of improv, because let me tell you, it's something where it's not like, long form improv, like what you see on, TV. What's that show? What's that show? That was with, sorry.
Mine Is It Anyway? With Wayne Brady?
Yes, exactly. So it's completely different from that, because you're dealing, they're all actors, they're all comedians doing that. But when you're doing hidden camera stuff, it's a different kind, and you have to be quick to change the route. Or there's times where I want to start laughing so bad, I pinch myself. Yeah, I've had to pinch myself and then start crying because I want to laugh. I'm like this. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, why? So you have to change. It's like, so, it's so much fun. Oh, now I miss it. Let's do a show. Come on.
And the scare tactics, you see people literally like screaming, and I wonder afterwards, like, can we edit that out, or can we
once you sign that, you're out. That's it. Yeah.
Sure. And like, you've been in like Why Women Kill, Teen Wolf, Southland, Criminal Minds, Major Crimes. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. How was that experience? Danny DeVito and that whole...
He's the best. Oh my God. So it is such a warm, lovely show, and he was so funny. I don't even remember the episodes, but the one episode he had like flour all over himself. And I forgot my character's name, but I was a police officer, and he was like, hubba, come sit on my lap, like joking, but like, cause he had flour. I'm like, okay. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. You're going to get flour all over. But he was such a gentleman and such a nice person that he, on the first day of this new set that we were on, he went and introduced himself to all the extras. Everybody that he hadn't met, he introduced himself. And I'm like, what a classy man he is, And I find that the people, the actors that are the nicest, I think, are the comedians. Like it's interesting. I don't know why.
I would imagine, and I actually wanted to ask you this question. Every comedian has a story of when they bombed or when a joke didn't go right. So, for example, my job in the Navy, I was air traffic controller. A lot of pressure, right?
Wow.
Very good at dealing with stressful evolution, because it's stressful. The only other job that I think that would be more scary is I've seen comedians, and when the joke doesn't go right, it's pretty, and it's like, being a comedian is all about timing. And I just feel like that is like one of the top scariest next to air traffic control. And I wanted to ask you that. Maybe that's why it's nice, because comedians
have a lot of lives on the line going on there. That is, thank you. I take my hat off to you. My gosh. Yeah. But, and this is so interesting. It goes even back, because, you go, oh, well, if I hadn't done this wouldn't happen. If I didn't meet so-and-so, this, the evolution, so to speak, of it was that my coach had told me, because I did a lot of sketch comedy, but that's with a lot of people. But I suffer from fear of public speaking, believe it or not, as myself. Like, if you told me that I had to go on stage and be like, hi guys, how are you? I'm here to introduce you to whoever, like an award. I'm like, oh my God, I can't, like, it's so difficult for me to do. Okay. So my coach had told me, I want you to go to this stand-up comedy class. It's the best of the best in Los Angeles. And she goes, and I go, well, I'm not going to do the end part, bitches. You have to be at the Comedy Store. You have to, the final is to go, you know, to go on stage and do your piece of material. I go, fine. I was like so mad at her. I'm like, fine, I'll take the class for the writing part of it, but I am not going to do the stand-up part because I will throw up. And I'm like, I'm not going to do it. She goes, that's fine. You don't have to do it. But she was pushing me because so I can get material because I had a lot of stuff, but also, you know, just putting it in a form of all your thoughts. That's where I struggled with, you know, all these thoughts and all these stories and then condensing it and putting into this pretty little package, right? That was the hard part for me. So at the end, I had this piece and the teacher's like, it is so good, Maria. It is so good. And I don't know how I mustered up the courage, but I actually did stand up. I did it. And it was the scariest, most exhilarating thing I've ever done. And I never want to do it again. But with that, you know, I had Diana, who is the creator of the Latina Christmas Special. She had come to see the show and she went ring, ding, 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 ding in her head. And she goes, you know, then she started thinking about like her funny Latina comedians that she has and how she wanted to do something with stories and something with maybe Christmas or a holiday or this or the other. And that's where her wheels started to turn. And that's how ultimately she picked me and she asked me to be a part of it because she saw my story. So it's all my story. It's all real stuff. So needless to say, it was the most exhilarating and scariest thing I've ever done in my life. And I never want to do it again. Oh my God. And I'm with you. I take my hat off to stand-up comedians. No way. There's no way I would do it again. No.
Because you hear from famous people that one time that they bombed and it's like, wow.
Yeah, I know. No, I cannot. No. I'm like, no.
So like you also done CSI, The Bold and the Beautiful, Lights Out, the horror film, the hit. How was it doing soap opera? And how does that differ from all the other things that you've done?
That's a great question. And I don't get asked that actually very much. And I sure got schooled. I learned a lot. You know, soap opera world is a completely league of its own. Because you'll have dialogue. Let's say it's like 2 pages of full dialogue. That minute they'll be like, okay, actually, Nurse Amanda Smith, which was my character on Bold and Beautiful, we're going to actually change it. These are the new lines right now. You have to talk about quick on your feet and memorization. Oh, I thought I had a good memory, but it's so stressful. It's like a completely different kind of a genre. And also you're in a bubble with the same people all the time. So I'm not complaining. However, my stint was, I recurred, but I came back, but I wasn't a principal on it, you know, having to go every single day or the other. But it's, I give my hat off to soap opera actors because the dialogue is insane, meaning there's a ton of dialogue, and you have to have like a crazy memory. And I thought I had a good memory until I started working on soap operas. Let me tell you, it's really like, and it's stressful. Woo!
It sounds stressful. Like you got all that dialogue, and I hear it's like pretty much boom, 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 boom. Right?
It is. There. It's so fast. And it's the only, and what's interesting, which I don't think many people know, it's the only acting job where you have a start and a finish time.
Oh, like, wow.
Yeah, we're out by like 5 or 6, and your start time is the same, like 6 or 7, depending on, you know, if you have to do whatever the look is, you know what I mean? But it's the only job where it's like, actually, okay, you're going to go in, you have a call time, 7 or 8 or whatever time it is, and we're done by 5 or 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I just thought about this because Bold and the Beautiful, I just remember being a kid, my grandmother, she loved her stories.
Oh.
So they're still around. Like,
isn't that wild?
Yeah.
It's still around.
Like I remember I saw there's a guy that I forget was probably younger than the rest. This guy named Victor.
Yeah,
so I remember
Victor Newman.
being like 6 and watching him. Like, this guy is still doing so well.
And he looks the same.
Yeah, he looks exactly the same.
What the hell? I know. What the heck? Sorry, am I allowed to say hell? Sorry. I know. You're so funny that you remember Victor Newman.
Yeah, my babysitter and my grandma, they would watch these shows, and I sit there and I look and I saw like one of the soap opera magazines. I was like, I remember this guy from when I'm 6. He's still doing it. Like,
isn't that wild? But you know, and that's, I guess, I don't know. It's a blessing and a curse because, you know, yeah, you're blessed to be on a show that is running for so long, but at the same time, you can't really book any other jobs because you're on the show for, you know what I mean? So it's kind of a double-edged sword with soap operas. You know, it's hard. So like, if you're a principal, if you're on it, like, you know, if you're the main actor or actress on the show.
Once you get killed off, right? But there's been people that's been killed off, but they come back. You're like, hey, I'm back.
Yeah, because they're crazy and they're like, no, bring me back. I'm done staying at home and relaxing. I want to come back. I lied. I didn't want to get off.
So Tacoma F.D. How did that come into fruition? Like,
oh, let me tell you, it's a dream job. That is, besides Latina Christmas, because that's a different kind of, you know, show. But Tacoma has been my favorite job that I have worked thus far. It's such a dream job. Oh my gosh. So when I initially auditioned for the show, I went into the casting director's office, and she's amazing. Wendy O'Brien, she's like the best in the business. She cast the Mayans, Sons of Anarchy, Teen Wolf, all the like the good shows, like the best shows. She's either casted or, you know, casts. And she's my champion. I call it my champion office because every show that she casts, she brings me in for to get me a job on the show. So I'm forever grateful for her, and I love her so much. So she brought me in for this role, and initially her name was Lieutenant Liz McManus. And it was an open ethnicity. So, you know, if you're not familiar with the Super Trooper guys with Kevin Heffernan, right? Yeah. So Super Troopers, right? Kevin Heffernan and Steve Lemmy, they didn't know what they were looking for. So it was open ethnicity for this very bossy bully, beats up her boyfriend Pikachu that is on the fire department, and Lieutenant Liz McManus is with the Tacoma PD, with the police department. So I went in and I was like, ooh, these words are like, I love that. I love when I get a script and I'm like, ooh, this is me. This is, you know, I don't have to really, you know, go pick too far to be like, how would she be? I'm like, oh, this is me. It's in my body. Like, you know, she's like a bossy, like she's an H-Vic, you know? She's like the head in charge. She's like, you know. So when I went in for it, Wendy had told me, Maria, the guys love improv. So just go, just fly, do your thing. And I'm like, oh, okay, good. I'm like, okay, good. So I would stick to the line still, but then I would I had the freedom. That's what I love. Had the freedom to kind of go places with it. So when I beat up in the scene, when I beat up my boyfriend in the scene, I pretended to kick, and I'm very flexible. So when I went to go, I did like a whole like thing. I almost kicked who I love too, the other casting associate in the face but it looked so good on camera, and I was cussing him out in Spanish. Right? So I was like, pinche, I don't know what I can say now, but I was like, le estaba diciendo cosas malas, cabrón, right? In Spanish. And then that was it, right? And they're like, oh, that was amazing, da-da-da. So I ended up booking the job. And then fast forward, when I get on set, Kevin goes, oh man, you scared me. You scared me. Oh my gosh. And that's why I got the job.
Oh, wow. So
yeah, and and they're so amazing. They give you the freedom to, they love the improv, and I always feel that that's where you kind of get the golden, all the golden moments are the ones that are made up right there on the spot. So it's been a dream job. They're all so amazing and so talented. It's just, super fun.
And we're going into season 2, right?
Yeah. So we're, I think episode 6, I think it's already in it. So yeah, it's almost done. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So it's almost, season 2 is almost done, and it's been doing really well. The mega fans. It's interesting because each show, like there's different shows that I've been on where it's like, oh my mega fans, like Teen Wolf, mega fans. And most of my mega fans came from 13-year-old girls from Turkey. So interesting, right? Mega fans. I mean, they would like make videos and cry and be like, María, Dad, and not speaking, they couldn't speak English, but they're like, oh, I love you. Oh. Because they were such fans of Teen Wolf. And I would they would write something on my Instagram page, and then I would say something to them like, I love you too. Thanks for watching. And they're like, oh my God. So they're so cute. I know. And then the Tacoma F.D. fans are they're amazing because, the Super Trooper guys already have a following of their own, so it's very, very interesting and very cool, and they're very dedicated and they're very committed. So I love it.
So after all of this, because I know this thing has put everything on hold, the coronavirus, all aspects of life, all industries. Once we get back to normalcy, what can we expect from you? Like, what's in the pipeline?
Yeah, so as of right this second, because I have my Latina Christmas for 2021. That's for sure. But everything's been on hold. It's kind of scary. So I'm just, I'm not really afraid for like health wise, but I'm like, for myself, I mean, but I'm like, wait, what's going to happen? Like, hello? Yeah. Like, what's going to happen? Like, when are we coming back? So it's going to be, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we're going to come back, yes, but how or what? I don't know. And I actually have an audition, but it's an audition for a very, I can't say what it is, but it's a very well-known novel, but it's audio. So it's going to be acted audio-wise. And I'm like, are we going to be doing this? Is this what we're going to be doing now? What?
Normal, yeah.
So weird. It's kind of bizarre, surreal. I don't know. And I don't even know. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. Because I know as far as like, as far as development and all that goes, they're still going. You know what I mean? Yeah. But they still have to get deadlines for that. But then at the same time, it's like, okay, but when is this all going to be lifted? I don't know.
And I know like states are doing phases, and then that's all predicated on after they do the phases. If a peak comes back, then we gotta, let's.
I know. Oh God, I know, and it's so annoying, and I'm so over this.
Yeah. For me, for example, I work in the aviation industry. I work for American Airlines. So my main region is like the Asia Pacific region. So I was traveling there. I actually, usually I go to England and like England and Scotland. I was like, I'm gonna put it on hold for until May. And then the last trip I remember, I was at Suwon's Oscar Gala. And then in May, I was supposed to, go to Europe for a little while. And it's like this now, and it's just like right now we're looking at our schedule for the summer, and really there is no schedule, right? Especially for international.
So crazy.
It's like, when do we get back to normalcy?
I agree. We got to speed this up.
Yeah. So I wanted to also ask, like, with your vast career, dancing, being a comedian, acting, Broadway. What has been like the most rewarding aspect of your career?
I think I'd have to say the Latina Christmas Special, because it pushed me not only as an actor, but also as a person to talk about things that I don't normally talk about, like the bullying part. Like, I was never able to talk about it freely, because it would, as soon as I would even think about it, it would come up again. It would make me want to cry and shut down. It's just such an interesting thing. And that once I was able, because I didn't talk about it at first, in the first, at the first year that we did it, nor the second year. And the third year, my director was able to kind of gently and with love tell me that it's so beautiful what I wrote, and that I'm going to be helping. Think about all the little girls that you're going to help. And I remember the first night, opening night that we did, there was a lot of high school kids that came to see the show. And this one little girl named Cicely, who I'm still friends with on Instagram, she saved me. She told me, Maria, I too was bullied, but I was told I was ugly, I was fat, and I wasn't worth anything. And I just started crying, and I was like, Cicely, I needed you tonight. Thank you. And she's like, thank you for sharing your story. It's helped me. So even little, like, where it might seem like a little thing, that it freed me. That I didn't, that freed me, and I didn't realize how freeing that it would be, especially when little girls would come up to me and tell me, thank you for sharing the story. I didn't understand that until it started going, we started doing it more, and it started getting the response. And this is every time that we would do the show, everyone would say, thank you for sharing your story, to all three of us. But we would all get different kinds of people. I'd get like the young girls, that were either in dance or bullied or going through it or not. And I think just in life, just as a person, that's the part that I'm like, this is why I do this. Really, at the end of the day, it's such, it fills me.
You speak to, I think, like great musical artists, just great artists, entertainers. It's all about the human level. And you speak to testimonies, right? Your testimony, because somebody may be going through what you go through. And by that, they can relate, and it'll help somebody be like, okay, well, she overcame this and I can do it too. So no, that's a beautiful thing. And then being able to touch people is a very beautiful thing. Like, when you do stuff you don't realize until later, like, wow, and I know for me, the reason for Deeper Than Music is, like, with music or anything, I would always read the back of back when they had CDs and albums. I would read like producers. Like, one of my favorite artists is Sting, and he has a book called Lyrics, where it's like he talks about the song, and where like I'm like, Roxanne, what was he thinking when he wrote this? Like,
right.
So, like you said, like, you opening up touched a lot of people. So this actually leads to my next question. So to the little girl who sees your movies or hears this interview or has been following you and like, I want to be just like her, what would Mariarussell say to them? Like, what advice would you give to somebody who aspires to be like you?
So let me tell you, I want you to know, I would tell them that I want you to know that you can truly dream and be anything that you want. If you can dream it, you can do it. You just have to believe in yourself. You have to work very hard and always lead with love. It gets you everywhere. It really does. And it's not just some, kumbaya thing that I'm saying, but if you lead with your heart and with kindness, doors will open for you. And you obviously have to be talented, which I'm sure you are. Everybody is. There's, whatever you want to pursue, you can do it. It's really, it's really that simple. You just have to have a hunger and want to really do it, and believe in yourself and support system. but always leading with kindness and leading with love. That's a big one.
I like how you say with kindness and love, because there's some people that believe I got to be cutthroat and
exactly, and that's not true. That's exactly what I mean. And I've come by those people where I'm like, oh no, honey, I don't. That's not the way. I might be like that in my character, and I'll be like, I'll slash your throat, mother. but not no. But that's not the way. That's not the way to do things. You don't. No way. You don't have to. It's unnecessary.
My mom has this saying, and I love it. She's like, the toes that you step on today may be connected to the ass you got to kiss tomorrow.
Yes, Mom, and it's so true. You treat everybody the same. Everybody. That's right.
So my last question, again, thank you for taking the time to. This has been a great interview. Thank you for taking the time to be on the show. My last question is shameless promotion time. Where can the listeners and viewers, where can they find you on social media?
Yes, thank you. So Instagram is really where I live at. So that's the best place to connect. And my Instagram handle is Maria Ann Russell. So it's MariaAnnRussell. And that's for Instagram. On Twitter, which I'm rarely on, is Maria Russell. And Facebook, which I'm rarely on, is Maria Russell.
Deeper Than Music Radio.
Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music. The core of you, the fans, the truth is deeper than music. Deeper than music. Simply the truth is the latest, the newest. It's deeper than music. Deeper than music.